This is Jim Williams with the Hurricane City Tropical Update for October 31st, 6 p.m. Here's the HurTrack program showing the animation of Hurricane Tomas and what the future holds. And as you can see here, the system approaches southeastern Haiti starting on Friday. Going into Saturday, the system begins to re-strengthen again, nearing major hurricane status as it moves in near Port-au-Prince, Haiti on Saturday. Now, this is subject to change. I don't want people with relatives or family in Haiti to think that this is definitely going to happen. The models can change. In fact, I have a feeling personally this might end up going a little bit east of there. There's been a model consensus trend of shifting towards the Dominican Republic over here rather than Haiti, but we'll see about that. This thing could still affect Haiti dead on. That's the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. Let's get to our images right away. First of all, I want to talk about what Tomas has done so far. The system moved through Barbados, so we can mark that off on my city list. That was one of my top 20 this year. And St. Lucia, also one of my top 20. I'm sorry, not St. Lucia. Actually, Martinique up here is in my top 20. So they will be considered brushes, a tropical storm for Barbados and a brush for Martinique. But as you can see, Tomas split the uprights between St. Lucia and St. Vincent. There was quite a bit of damage on those islands. And we had the live radio up on hurricanecity.tv as that was happening, and it's been recorded. I'm currently editing that right now for our archive subscribers, and that'll be available over the next couple of days. I have a lot on my plate the next few days, so I'll get to the details on that in just a minute, but we will be editing that down and have it available for archive subscribers if there's enough good audio. I really haven't gone through a lot of it as of yet. Anyway, this is the area that was affected, and this is from southern St. Lucia. And this whole area where these mountain ranges are out here all was affected by high winds gusting up around 90 to 100 miles per hour. Here's another shot of it. And again, the winds were primarily out of the southeast and east and even northeast winds as this passed by to the south of this area. But there was a lot of flooding reported in these areas here. And the damage is still coming out of St. Lucia and St. Vincent. Now you can click St. Lucia next to the tracking map to get all the latest information on news coming out of the Windward Islands as the Tomas aftermath continues. Here's the radar as it was passing through St. Lucia and St. Vincent down here, split the uprights. About a 40-mile wide hurricane force wind field, so both islands did feel hurricane force winds. Luckily, there was not much more than a Category 1 hurricane. All right, let's get to the current situation. Here are the models. Zoom in a little bit on this and show you what the consensus is, and that is that we're going to have a system stalling out well southeast of Jamaica and then a northerly turn here like this. Now the European model is still the outlier, taking this way over here south of Jamaica and then slingshotting it off to the northeast like this. So there's quite a difference in the models as to when this turn is going to take place. But I did run all the models as I usually do over at tropicalatlantic.com. Ran 62 different model runs. Now that's excluding the extrapolated, which is just basically pointing a straight line, and excluding the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. These are only models that I calculated, and out of all the models, only 3% are expecting this to affect Jamaica over here or Puerto Rico over here. So all of the attention is in between these two locations. So let's break it down even further. And Haiti has a 32% chance of the system passing in this circle right here. And there's a 27% chance for the Dominican Republic over here. So it's still Haiti that has the highest chance as of this point. But there's a pretty even spread between Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and the other option is 30% of the models keeping it down here in 5 or 6 days, still south of Hispaniola and the Dominican Republic. Now what's interesting is the aviation ensemble models, nearly all of them, keep this system down here somewhere in about 6 days from now. So there's some indication that this turn that's forecast and this slingshot like this is not a certain possibility, and this may linger down here in the Caribbean. We talked about that in the last tropical update video. So people need to keep a wary eye on this. If it stays down in the Caribbean, the trough passes by, it does not lift it on out, then we have a whole new ball game with this system, and we're going to have to wonder where it's going to go next. But residents in East Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, and even Puerto Rico need to pay close attention to what's happening with this and be prepared to take action if this does decide to slingshot off to the northeast, because my hunch, based on all the steering I see upstream, is that the Dominican Republic here is going to have to deal with this system in some form or another, and it could come close to Haiti, and that would be utterly disastrous to have a hurricane coming into Hispaniola or even Haiti, especially if it's strengthening towards major hurricane status. So that's the model consensus. Now the best performing model on this system, actually let me show you this real quick. This is the actual forecast track, again category 2 near Haiti, and notice the wide cone of error all the way across from Puerto Rico all the way to the western portions of Jamaica here. So that's quite a wide spread in the uncertainty, and the National Hurricane Center has stated as much. I thought I had the best performer. I'll get to that. Maybe I have it at the end of the list here. Here is the current upper level wind shear, and this is why our system is weakening right now. We have strong west and southwest wind shear of 20 to 30 knots all through here, undercutting the development of Hurricane Tomas. But if we go out 48 hours from now, you'll see there's more pink and blues down here in the Caribbean, which is more favorable upper level environment. So the model's indicating it's going to weaken for about 24 to 36 hours, and then it's going to regenerate somewhere down here south of Hispaniola and Haiti as it starts to make the turn to the north. And the question is it going to go through Hispaniola, or is it going to linger down in the Caribbean? At either rate, it appears that this will be a strengthening hurricane at that time. Now here is the best performing model so far, the LBAR, off by about 132 miles at 96 hours. And this is going out, since this was 91L, this is the best performer, and it lingers it down here. It takes it northwest, and then it does a loop-to-loop and kind of hangs it out down here. So again, a lot of models are indicating this could stay down in the Caribbean. All right, here's a storm, the only storm at this time of the year, October 30th. The 1932, they didn't name storms back in 1932, but a storm developed here east of the Leeward Islands, dove off to the south right on this date in history, and then became a major hurricane down here, came near the Cayman Islands, cut right across Cuba, the East Bahamas, and out into the open Atlantic, passed very near Bermuda, and this was a major hurricane. So it can happen at this time of the year, and it did happen back in 1932. Look at the sea surface temperatures out in front of this, and this is another reason why this could strengthen over here. Look at the warm sea surface temperatures, well in the upper 80s south of Haiti and Jamaica. It's heading towards the warmest heat content in the Atlantic Basin right now. So even though the wind shear is high right now, the temperatures, the upper level winds are supposed to weaken, and the temperatures are going to increase out in front of this. So this could very well get back up to major hurricane status. All right, let's take a look at the model intensity forecast. Now, the best performing model on the intensity has been the Schiffer 5 model, and this model going out 5 days has this at 68 knots. So it's pretty much keeping its status quo, and if we look at the Schiffer 5, you can see here it's pretty consistent, keeping this at Category 1 strength throughout its journey. And it wouldn't surprise me if it maintained Category 1 status, but again, it depends on how much it weakens between now and the time it gets in a more favorable environment near Jamaica. But if it stayed at Category 1, it would not surprise me, but I do believe this will strengthen again when it gets near the Greater Antilles. And the outliers strengthening are the AVN, has it up to a Category 2, and the GHMI also Category 2. None of them have right now at Category 3 status. Now there are a couple models, the early cycle models, late cycle models rather, GFDL model has it here close, but a strong Category 2 as well. And again, let's look at the water vapor loop, and you'll see what's happening here. We have this high pressure ridge to the north, and this high pressure is in the southeast. It's going to shift off to the east. Up in this position right here, there's going to be a steering flow like this, and the storm should follow that steering flow as a low pressure area is supposed to develop here in the Gulf of Mexico. and we already see an upper level low forming right here. But that's moving off to the west-northwest, and a new cold front's going to move in here, and a surface low is going to develop in the Gulf, and that's going to break this ridge down and allow this, whatever Tomas is at this point, to start turning north and northeast. So it's all a matter of timing. And again, I believe that that might happen sooner rather than later, and Hispaniola might have to deal with the bulk of this. We'll have to see about that. Now, on a side note, front page of Hurricane City, tune in tomorrow night. This is November 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Click on the Hurricane TV logo in the upper right-hand corner here, and of course you can click on Hurricane TV right there. And I'll have my Weather and the Media show. This is a quarterly show I do 4 times a year. And this show is going to focus on how the media has been covering hurricanes and tropical storms this year. Have they been over-exaggerating things? I remember the Weather Channel was down here for Tropical Storm Bonnie, barely a tropical storm, 40-mile-an-hour winds. They had Jim Cantori up on the beach there talking about this storm. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are on how the media has been maybe overdoing the weather a little bit, or is it just about right, or do you think they should do more? I'll take your phone calls during the show tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Click on Hurricane TV. Now, tomorrow I will not be doing any tropical update videos due to my schedule, and the show starting tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So we'll do the next tropical update video on Tuesday. Everybody in the Greater Antilles, pay attention to Tomas. That's it for now. Thank you again for visiting Hurricane City.